Hello everyone and welcome to this APUtime review video. Today I'm going to be talking you through everything you need to know about APUtime, and as usual, if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'll also be leaving a discount link in the description of this video so that you can always get your money's worth for APUtime. So what is APUtime? Basically, APUtime is a virtual assistant that helps you complete the projects for your business a lot faster, whilst also adjusting timeline and making sure that you allocate your company's resources applicably to certain things. So we have our schedule, we have our timeline, our projects, our templates, time spent, labels and categories, and people that are in the company. And what we'll do is we'll go through all of this. So beginning with our schedule. Our schedule basically shows us everything that we have to do, everything that we have completed, and anything that was meant to be completed by a specific date but instead has been postponed. So move a task here to start working on it, and you can add a task by hitting a plus button in the bottom right. Then you enter the task name and we'll do set up register. And then we'll have a task, whether it's an event or a future event. You have how long it will take in minutes. So as you can see, set a custom time. It could be anywhere from 3 hours to 15 minutes. We'll set it to 30 minutes, and then we'll set it to my inbox and just do it. All the default options there. We've accidentally closed it. We'll do set up register, and when you've done this, you can add a solver, so the person that has actually been selected to complete that task. You have the auto select, and then you also have where you can basically select whether it's automatically assigns a person to complete it or whether you automatically want to give it to someone. So to do auto, you would simply, before you do this, you'd select the auto select and it will pick a random person for you. You can add a label to it if you want to. You can add a description to the task to sort of highlight what you actually need to do, and then you can upload any necessary files that people might need to go through and a checklist they might need to complete. So if you want to make sure that they get all the aspects done, you can add a requirement. So it would simply be make sure it's in size 11 font, make sure everyone is on it. And when you've done that, you can simply ensure that whoever is completing this has done these two things and they can tick it off as they go. You also have a schedule, so the postponed start and then the final deadline. And when you've hit create, it will set all of this up and boom, you will have set up register. And when you've got this, you will be able to move a task that you have here to start working on that. So it's a really great thing. You can add comments to it. You can look at the time spent on it. You can see the stream of it. So what has actually happened, the overall interactions with that specific job, and then the information in the state. You also have the option to set up a timeline. Now, what a Gantt timeline is essentially, think of it as a overall visualization of everything that needs doing for your project. So every sort of thing that needs happening displayed over a specific length of time, that's essentially what a Gantt timeline is. And you're able to include this. So think of it as if you had 5 tasks due. One of them was due at 5 o'clock, one of them at 6, 7, 8, 9, so on respectively up until you get to 10. And essentially you'd be able to view when each task began and when each task finished and see that strung across on a timeline. So for this, it would look like if they all had the same length of time, so all of them were say one day they had to be completed, you'd have one going from 4 to 5, one from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, and then 9 to 10. And that's essentially what it would look like. And you're able to also filter this by project and resources, whilst also keeping track of how people are doing on it. And obviously any changes that have been done, it will automatically do that with any changes that you make in the software. But you can also disable this if you don't want that to be the case. You also have some options to have calendar integrations with it. You can view it in different layers. You can zoom in to see more specified times and more minutes and stuff like that. But it's really, really useful to have. And overall, depending on the actual demands and details of the project that you have, the timeline can be broken up into sort of weeks, months, years, or even, however long you really need to complete a project. So I think that's really, really handy. You're also able to view every project that you've got. So as you can see, we've got all projects and we've got my inbox. And to create a project, you go ahead and hit add new project, type in, we'll just call it project 1. And you can choose whether to create it from a process template if you want to. You can have the AI schedule it for you, or if you want to schedule it yourself or not have any at all. You can start on a specific day. So we'll start on February 1st and we'll end on February 8th. We'll do 1 week. We'll do a description there, and then we'll also be able to add any categories that we want. So if you have different categories, instead of having different projects for the same thing, you're able to do that as well and have it really nicely organized and categorized into different sections. And then you're also able to manage permissions for different people depending on the type of it. And it's really, really useful, whilst also being able to make the entire project private for a specific amount of people that you can obviously assign. And when you want to hit create, you go boom, and that project has been created. Now we say congratulations, and then you'll be able to view all your overview, so you see how many tasks are in relation to this project, how much time has been spent on this project in total. Quickly heading back to projects, I accidentally shut it. You have the deadline, so 9 days and 5 hours, AI scheduling, all of this information as well that we've got to do with it. And you can also view any files applicable for it, the process, comments that anyone has. You can even have a lovely little chat room with your colleagues about the certain project if you have any questions or things you want to say about it. You can also set a workload between specific people, so you can do it by percentage to ensure that everybody has the fair amount of time doing parts on the project. Nobody's doing too little and nobody's doing too much. And then any events that are in relation to that specific project. You also have process templates. So you can either hit the add button here, or you can go ahead and hit the create new template button. And then what this will do is create a new task and generate a process by AI. So to create a new task, right click or click the plus button in the lower right corner. We can right click that or press it. There we go. And then what you can do is either add a task, add a decision, add sub processes. And this is basically where we can view all the things that need doing, things that might happen in relation. It's a really nice visualization for the actual task at hand. So if we add a new task, there we have it. We'll call it task 1, and it will just be a future event, and we can hit add. And then what we can do is have different things string off for different people or different things. You can add a decision. The question for the yes no decision: will we decide to shut down the company? It really doesn't matter what you put. And then what you can do is you can connect these together really nicely. So task 1, first of all, decide, will we decide to shut down the company? If the answer is yes, this can go to a new task, and we'll do begin the start. And as you can see, that will go into that. But if no, then we can add a parent task here and say close shop, and close shop. That's all we'll need to do. So, and then what you can do is you can have a look and send this out. So you can basically see all the potential outcomes in a really nice way without having to keep running it through your mind over and over again. I think this is an amazing feature, and it's so easy to use as well. And you're able to string these together as much as you want. Even if things don't make sense, it will still allow you to do it. But overall, I think it's a great thing. And there are loads of features that you can do. If you do here, you can add decisions, sub-processes, magic lists, appending through imports, copy, paste, and duplicate. And they're all the things that you can do to make sure that your process and projects are done efficiently. In the time spent, you can see the author or the user groups for what projects, and you can basically see how long they've spent on specific things. So it's also a time management software to make sure that people get paid for their time correctly and things like that. Very easy to do, but when people have done work, this will automatically pop up here. You also have the options for labels and categories, so you are obviously able to create any categories that you want. You simply would call it, the name of the category, the description of the category, the color that you want. You obviously have all 16 million colors to choose from here, and hit create new, and there you have it. You would have this. You can update, you can show the projects in relation to that category, and all sorts of different things. And finally, we have the people page. This is where you can view everybody that is going to be doing tasks at some point, and everyone that you've got in your company. You can add a new user and invite them via email, see what their name is, and then give them the employee rights. So you have management, project manager, or just regular employee. And as you can see, these also have little speech marks next to them where you can see what they do. Has an overview of all projects, manages subscriptions and assigns user rights, manages all projects, can change hourly rates, working hours, and manage project rights, and can only handle assigned tasks. And then you can set user groups if they're in specific aspects of a company. You can see what their hourly rate is in dollars, and obviously you can switch between, as you can see, Czech, euros, USD, and all these other currencies that you may be having people working for you that actually have that currency for them. But that is more or less it for APUtime. So what do I think about APUtime? And in all honesty, I'd say that's an easy question. I really, really like it. I think that people might want to use something like this because it really helps. It really does with just bringing efficiency straight to your company and being able to have all your users assigned in one place, chat rooms for all the individual topics. So you don't need to have one, big Discord or Slack or anything like that, or Zoom where you have individual channels for everything. Everything is built into this website. I think that the features that it has are great, and my favorite part is definitely the visualization. And using other softwares is definitely the reason and the main reason people might want to use something like this. Having all these bloatwares on your devices that just get in the way, being able to access a website to keep track of everything that you do, who doesn't want that? It uses no computational power. It's easy to do. It's very easy to invite people to. Everyone can run a browser on their computer. And overall, I think that it's a great piece of software, and I would highly recommend it to anybody looking to improve the efficiency of their business. But thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.